Wow, I've missed a lot. Hey YouTube, what's up? Mr. Geeky here, and today I want to get straight into it. I've been gone for a while. I'm not going to explain everything that's happened while I've been gone. Let's just talk about the new custom night. On the website, at this time, it's 70% done. That's close. We're almost there. As for the characters he has revealed available, let's go over them. Golden Freddy. When he appears after lowering your tablet, pull it back up quickly to get rid of him. Staring at him for too long will end your run with an unpleasant surprise. I guess we can assume that it'll probably crash your game just like the other Golden Freddys. I'm just glad we'll finally have the old Golden Freddy back. Helpy. He will appear on your desk at random when closing your tablet. Get rid of him quick or he'll get up close and personal with an air horn. I'm not sure if he'll actually kill you or not, but he'll definitely distract you and maybe it'll affect your auditory experience. I don't know. BB. He will try to sneak in through the side vent. Close the side vent and wait until you hear the thud indicating he's gone. If BB slips in, he will temporarily make a nuisance of himself, disabling your flashlight until he leaves. So this is pretty much like regular Balloon Boy, but though the one difference is that he can leave and your flashlight will come back on, so I wonder how you make him leave, or if he's just on a timer. Anyway, let's move on to JJ. JJ has not really been a character. She's kind of been more of an Easter egg, but apparently she's going to be a character. And she works the same as BB, except that she will disable all door controls, which, depending on how Custom Night works out, could be even worse than Balloon Boy. Alright, Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare. This tag team duo are invisible to the cameras and can only be seen when they reach your doorways. Fredbear takes left, Nightmare takes right. And even then, only their eyes are visible. Close the doors on their faces to send them back into the darkness. So my guess is you'll probably have to keep track of them through audio, or they'll be extremely rare and only appear near the end of the night. I would assume that their eyes would just be two pinpricks like the original Freddy in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, although they seem to act like the opposite of him. Instead of seeing them in the cameras and not being able to see them in the doorway, they kind of take the opposite and you can only see them in the doorway. Phantom Freddy. He will slowly materialize in your office, fading in from nothing. Shining your flashlight at him is the only way to make him disappear again. If he fully materializes, he will jump scare you and cause a blackout temporarily. He seems pretty similar to how he was in the original, except instead of appearing and walking across your screen, he kind of just appears there. I wonder how that'll work. I would assume he appears more and more when you lift your camera up, although he might just slowly fade in. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Old Man Consequences. Now we remember this guy from FNaF World, and it's really weird to me that he's back, and the only thing Scott Cawthon has said about him is, better catch a fish. I have no idea what that means, and I think he's leaving that as a surprise. He's been very open and honest about the development and where it's going, and there's not really been a lot of secrets, but I think he's leaving this one up to our imaginations, and I can only speculate. There might be some sort of mini-game that accompanies him, and if you don't catch a fish, then you get jump scared, either causing some sort of inconvenience or even just killing you. Although I wonder how a pixelated character will jump scare you. I don't know, I guess we'll just have to see. The Marionette. If you neglect its box, then it breaks free of its prison. Once it's out, it can't be put back inside, and your ventilation system will drain much faster than it did before, causing blackouts and eventually a game over. So it's not exactly clear if he jump scares you or not. He might, depending on what he means by eventually a game over, unless blackouts cause a game over if you have enough of them. Either way, he works similarly, but not quite the same as he did in the original Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Nightmarian. His presence moves randomly to different locations in your office as you play, and he begins to reappear when your mouse cursor moves over him. Be quick to avoid the area of the office that he occupies, or your run will end in a jump scare. So there's not much to say about him, although I do wonder if he will appear next to doorways, and then you'll have to move your camera up really quickly so that you can actually move your hand or your mouse over to the door button or a vent. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see just how much of a nuisance he is. Music Man now. He is behind you, always, and is sound activated. If you continue to make a lot of noise, then he will slowly become more active, crashing his symbols together faster and faster, finally ending your run with a startling face-to-face jump scare. It sounds like the more noise you make, the more noise he makes, and because of that, it'll cause some sort of area where more of the sound-activated characters will come towards you, or characters that are attracted to sound will come towards you. But the thing that's really interesting is that he will jump scare you, and I really wonder what that's going to look like. He can't really open his mouth, although I'll guess it'll probably have something to do with the symbols and maybe crushing your face between them. Nightmare Balloon Boy. He sits in your office throughout the night, usually slouched over. When slouched, be careful not to shine your light on him. If he is standing, however, shine your light to return him to a sitting position, otherwise he will attack you when you turn away. Happy Frog. She climbs around the overhead duct system, making her way towards the hoses that drop into your office. Now, a lot of people were wondering if these hoses were actually a way that enemies could get in or not, and it appears so. Use the audio lure to hold her in place. She is fooled 100% of the time by the audio lure, but is immune to the effects of the heater. Mr. Hippo. He climbs around the overhead duct system, making his way toward the hoses that drop into your office. Use the heater to repel him, or the audio lure to hold him in place. He is fooled 100% of the time by the audio lure. He is slightly faster than the Happy Frog. Pig Patch. He climbs around the overhead duct system, making his way toward the hoses that drop into your office. Use the heater to repel him, or the audio lure to hold him in place. He is fooled 100% of the time by the audio lure. He is slightly faster than Mr. Hippo. The Ned Bear. He climbs around the overhead duct system, making his way toward the hoses that drop into your office. Use the heater to repel him, or the audio lure to hold him in place. He is fooled 50% of the time by the audio lure. He is slightly faster than Pig Patch. Orville the Elephant. He climbs around the overhead duct system, making his way towards the hose that drops into your office. Use the heater to repel him, or use the audio lure to hold him in place. He is fooled 10% of the time by the audio lure. He is slightly faster than Ned Bear. Springtrap. He climbs around the vent system, making his way towards the opening embedded in the wall in front of you. Track him by watching the vent monitor. He moves silently, so don't bother listening for him, but when he is poised to attack, you will see his face looking at you from the vent. Close the vent door on him to send him away. Molten Freddy. He also climbs in the vent system, but is much faster than the other animatronics when it comes to maneuvering his way toward you. You can track him on the vent monitor and can hear his laugh when he is poised to attack. Close the vent door to send him away. Ennard. He also climbs in the vent system, but unlike the other animatronics in the vents, he is difficult to track, appearing only briefly here and there when moving. He can't be seen in the vent opening, but gives himself away by making squeaking sounds before attacking. Close the vent door to send him away. Phantom Mangle will appear randomly in your viewing monitor. Close the monitor to switch viewing modes to make it disappear. If left on screen for too long, Phantom Mangle will invade your office temporarily, causing audio distractions and increasing your noise meter, which can attract even more problems. Mangle. Mangle makes his way through the vent system, but unlike the other animatronics in the vents, once he reaches the vent in your office, he will never leave, and will enter your office the moment the vent door opens. The only way to stop her is to use the vent snare, which can only be active in one place at a time, forcing you to keep track of Mangle's location in the vents to ensure that the correct vent snare is active. Once in your office, Mangle will hang from the ceiling creating audio disturbances before eventually dropping down to jump scare you. Now you'll notice in the first sentence, Scott uses his, and then in the second sentence uses her. This is to be expected at this point. I don't know what else anyone wants me to say. Withered Chica. She is the last of the 5 vent crawlers. Withered Chica can be blocked by the vent snare, as well as on the vent door. Unlike Ennard and the others, she gives no audio cue when she is at the door, meaning you need to track her position using the vent radar. If she reaches the vent door, she will become stuck in it, preventing you from closing it for the rest of the night. While her girth prevents Ennard, Molten Freddy, and Springtrap from passing, Mangle can still get through. While this may seem like a strategic advantage, keep in mind that Withered Chica may eventually wiggle free and jump scare you. Alright, I'm just gonna say I'm so glad to have Withered Chica back. It's been a long time since we saw Withered Chica. Even when all the models of the Phantoms resembled the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Withereds, Chica was the only one that looked like Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Chica. And let me tell you what, Withered Chica is probably one of the scariest ones in my opinion. The design of the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 characters were a little over the top, and in fact, ever since Five Nights at Freddy's 2, things have gone kind of downhill in the scariness factor for me. They seem a little too over the top and gruesome or monster-like to scare me just by looking at them. Now don't get me wrong, they scare me when I'm playing the games, but just by looking at them, Withered Chica still unsettles me. Toy Bonnie. He sneaks in through the trap door to your right. There's no way to prevent him from entering your office. Your only defense is to put your Freddy Fazbear mask on to fool him. Looking directly at him will increase the effectiveness of the mask, causing him to leave a little faster. This is going to be really fun. Very similar to Five Nights at Freddy's 2 when Toy Bonnie would appear in the room and kind of go across your screen. You're going to have to look at the terror to get it to go away faster. Now, the thing that I really like about this is that we have confirmation. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 mask is back, and that's really cool to see all this different stuff coming back. Toy Chica. She sneaks in through the trapdoor on your left, just like Toy Bonnie. There's no way to prevent her from getting into the room. Your only defense is to put on your Freddy Fazbear mask to fool her. Toy Chica is faster than Toy Bonnie and will invade your office more often. However, she's easier to fool with the mask, especially when looking directly at her. So it looks like Toy Chica gets the up-close and personal treatment as well as Toy Bonnie this time. Jacko Chica. She will appear at both your left and right doors at the same time. Closing either door by itself will have no effect on her. Check your cameras and view both hallways on either side of you. When Jacko Chica is fully materialized at both doors, close both doors simultaneously to cause her to disappear. Keeping your office cool will prevent her from appearing. Jacko Chica only begins to appear when your office overheats. So this is going to be an interesting balance, trying to keep the heaters up to prevent the tube characters from getting in, but also trying to keep it cool so Jacko Chica doesn't appear. And when Jacko Chica does appear, you're going to need to use both doors, which means an increased amount of power being used to try and get rid of her, which is an interesting point. Rockstar Chica. She stands outside your office waiting for her chance to jump scare you. She can approach from either side. Closing the doors will not cause her to leave. To make her leave, double-click the wet floor sign to place it in front of the door that she's standing at. This will discourage her from entering. She's afraid of slipping and make her go away. Now this is just weird. I mean, Rockstar Chica just looks like any other animatronic. There wasn't anything specifically goofy about her. And so this kind of goofy way of getting her to disappear is weird. Especially if Scott decides to not give in-game explanations with Phone Guy. Like maybe Rockstar animatronics were built with a built-in, wet floor sign management system, as well as, facial recognition or whatever, like some of the other ones. But if there's no real in-game explanation, this is kind of a funny way to get rid of a character, when all the other characters, besides maybe Helpy, seem to be relatively serious. Freddy Fazbear. Alright, we're getting back into the classics. He approaches from the left hall, emerging from the darkness and progressing in stages towards your door. Keep track of him on the monitor and shut the door when he is standing in the doorway to turn him away. He moves faster as the building gets warmer, so try to keep him at a cool 60 degrees whenever possible. Once again, more balancing of the heater and also keeping the place cool. Phantom Balloon Boy. He will appear on your viewing monitor at random. Quickly change cameras or close the monitor to avoid his jump scare. Getting jump scared by Phantom Balloon Boy will cause you to black out temporarily. Phone Guy. He will call at random into your office, and you will only have a brief amount of time to mute his call. If you fail to mute his call, then you will be forced to listen to the whole thing, which will aggravate you, as well as animatronic that is sensitive to the noise level. Also, the mute button will appear in unpredictable locations. I'm actually excited to hear what he has to say. I might just turn on only Phone Guy and then everybody else on like 1, just to be able to hear all his stuff. Who knows, we might even get some lore hints besides just jokes. Nightmare Freddy. While you aren't looking, mini Freddy's Freddles will accumulate on your desk and around the office. Shine your flashlight to scare them away. If you let too many of them gather together, then Nightmare Freddy will be summoned, ending your run with a jump scare. Chica, another classic. She hangs out in the kitchen, being generally clumsy and knocking over lots of pots and pans. In Custom Night, the kitchen is also where the music box happens to be, and while Chica doesn't care if the music box is wound up or not, she can grow tired of the music selection playing. As long as you hear pots and pans, Chica is content. If she stops making noise, however, then she's grown tired of the song, and you only have a short amount of time to change it. Don't get too eager to change music selections, though, because if you change the music while Chica is happy, she will leave the kitchen to come get you. Once she leaves the kitchen, there's no way to make her go back. Lefty. He sits in the closet off of the left hallway. He becomes more and more agitated if the office becomes too noisy or too hot. This state of agitation increases slowly and will eventually end with Lefty jump scaring you. Lowering the noise won't reverse the effects, nor will reducing the temperature, and the doors won't prevent Lefty from getting you. The only way to ease his temperament is to switch on the global music box, which soothes all music box animatronics at the expense of extra power being drained. El Chip. El Chip is just a cameo mascot when he appears at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. His real passion lies in authentic Mexican cuisine. He isn't here to jump scare you, but he may interrupt your night with some jarringly colorful advertisements for El Chip's Fiesta Bucket. Click skip or press enter to get rid of the invasive advertisements before you lose control of what's going on in your office. Withered Bonnie. He slips in through the trap door while you are viewing your monitor. You'll know he's there by the audio and visual distortion he causes just by standing there ominously. You'll only have a short amount of time to put the mask on to ward him off, otherwise a jump scare is all you have to look forward to. Besides his way of letting you know he's there, he's fairly similar to the original Withered Bonnie, so there's not a whole lot new here. Still, it's cool to see some of these old characters we haven't seen in a really long time come back. Oh my god, that's a lot. We're going to freaking die. But to make sure we won't die as fast, creator of the fan game Pop Goes has created a spreadsheet just for us players, giving strategy ideas before the game has been released, so check the link in the description for those. Anyway, that's it. It's my final video on the topic until the game comes out. See you guys next time.